Hey, you guys, welcome back. This is lesson 4, investing in altcoins, right? So this can be an entire course in itself, right? So what I'll do is I'll give you guys a few key factors in how to identify and how to find different altcoins to expedite or to actually generate more income that you can feed into your new Bitcoin-based banking system. Right? So first thing, what are altcoins? Altcoins stand for alternative coins. In the cryptocurrency space, all of these coins outside of Bitcoin are called alternative coins because Bitcoin is the grandfather of cryptocurrency. So all of these coins pretty much follow Bitcoin's lead. Bitcoin represents over 60% of the entire cryptocurrency market space. These altcoins represent the other 40 or 30% of the space. Now, there's an opportunity in those altcoins because they're smaller in market cap size, which means that they have much more room to grow than Bitcoin. And oftentimes they grow at a much faster pace than Bitcoin. So oftentimes we'll see Bitcoin jump 100, 200, 300%, but we'll see altcoins jump thousands of percents. We'll see things like Ethereum jump 4,000% in a year. We'll see things like Ripple jump 5,000% in a year, right? So those are things that we can use to our benefit to on a short-term or mid-term basis to actually gain profit and convert those profits into Bitcoin. And then once again, we're storing those Bitcoin that we accumulate in our different capital buckets to have that bank working for us. Now, one thing that we want to understand when it comes to investing in altcoins is that crypto is still very new. Altcoins are pretty much very young companies. Oftentimes they have a product or service that exists already, but you're still banking on something extremely new. So it's very risky. It's kind of like investing in startups, right? Except in the traditional market, you have to be an accredited investor in order to get access to these amazing opportunities. In crypto, you don't have to be an accredited investor, right? So you can have exposure to some pretty amazing companies or services and actually get in on the ground level and get the opportunity to have those exponential gains that will really take your portfolio that you're holding inside of your bank to the next level. So one thing that I want to circle back around to emphasize is that we're really new. So what does that mean? It means that a lot of these things have not had time to mature and to actually really prove their worth, right? So when we see altcoins having millions and millions of dollars poured into them, the concept is good. The first iteration of the product is good. The teams are good, right? But in all actuality, a lot of the market is generated by hype. And that's why it's important to understand a good story always sells. So if we break down what a good story has, we have a hero, we have an antagonist, we have a good plot. Oftentimes we have a plot twist and we have some type of finalized or some type of in-story end game in that story, right? So if we come up to a cryptocurrency and we're looking at it and we see a lot of people talking about it, people feel good about it, it's actually trying to, they have some type of opponent. So maybe that coin is looking to replace another coin or another cryptocurrency that has already proven that it has a high chance of success. Right? So they'll piggyback off of what that coin has already done and they'll say, hey, we can come in and we can do it better. That's a good story because now you have conflict. Every good story has some type of conflict. So if you enjoy reading about something and other people enjoy talking about something and you have opposing sides, there's always a way to make money with that. And where we are now with cryptocurrency being so young and filled with young investors, people who are acting off of emotion, just anticipating the hype and being able to get in on these altcoins before the hype happens, we can position ourselves to create extraordinary gains. Outside of understanding that a good story always sells, it's really, really important to understand market cycles. I'll put a link to a picture underneath this video, or maybe I'll attach it to this video where I show you the different market cycles and the different emotions that the people in the market go through as we experience the highs and lows of markets. Every single market has a cycle. It goes round and round. It's very repetitive. And the way that we make money as investors, especially in altcoins, is we identify the best place in that market cycle to accumulate as much as we can on something that has a lot of hype or something that has very strong fundamentals, which are things like a good team, a good roadmap, good track record, right? Something that we absolutely need. They're fixing a hair on fire problem, right? If we can get inside those projects during the right portion of the market cycle, we set ourselves up to make extraordinary amounts of wealth, and we can actually expedite the pace at which we grow our new digital bank. So let's bring that home, right? So let's see. So how do we get started with altcoins, and how do we identify which altcoins are posed to make some exponential gains? Well, first we go to a website called coinmarketcap.com. Coinmarketcap.com lists every single cryptocurrency that's in this space. There are thousands of cryptocurrencies. So if we're looking for opportunities, we typically want to stay underneath the top 100, right? Because the top 100 have already been exposed. Those gains have already been made, at least for the short term. And we're looking for things that we can put a little bit of money in and get a huge 1,000+% return. So we'll go on CoinMarketCap and we'll start researching. We'll see what problems they're looking to solve. You look at the roadmaps on those websites and you see where they are on the roadmap. Did they meet their milestones, right? Look at how the website is put together. Is it done professionally, or does it look like it's a bit sketchy? Presentation is everything. Look at the team. Look at the team behind that cryptocurrency and see what they've done in the past. See how the community thinks about those team members, right? It's all a part of research. You have to understand these things, right? And in the midst of all of these things, you're trying to put the story together. You're trying to see, does this thing have a good story right now, right? Is it trending? Is it a part of crypto that most people are paying attention to? And then you combine that with the knowledge of understanding how market cycles work, and you strategically position your money in a dollar cost average way, right? Until you get whatever size or whatever position size you want. So if you have $1,000, maybe you start with 10 this week, maybe you start with 10 the next week, or 10 every few days, until you have that total position size. And then the easy part happens. Actually, it's the most difficult part. You sit back and you wait. You monitor it. You set alerts up on apps, right? So here's another tip for you guys. Download an app called Blockfolio. Blockfolio. Blockfolio is an app that you can track any crypto asset, and you can actually set price alerts. So you can say, hey, if this asset drops to a certain point, I want to be notified. Or if it gets to a certain, or if it increases to a certain point, I want to be notified as well. So that's an easy way to track coins that you're interested in. Once you've identified the good storyline behind it, once you've vetted the team, once you've looked at the website, once you've identified that is a what's called a low market cap coin, meaning that the capital that's circulating in that market is likely less than $5 million. Right? If it's less than $5 million, that means we have a lot of room for growth. Imagine you get into a project that's less than 5 million, and then we have a huge amount of capital. It goes up to 100 million. Look at the gains from that. You're talking 100x. So to kind of recap, you use these altcoin strategies. And once again, I could go into an entire course about it. We can actually speak a lot about it inside our community if you have more specific questions. And I'll be happy to dive a little deeper into how I actually research these altcoins and how I get into them. And I'll actually create a watch list so that you guys can see which altcoins I'm getting into. And you can kind of follow my lead if you choose to do so after doing your own research, of course. Okay, so to recap, we went over what are altcoins. Right? We went over why a good story always sells. And we went over how to find some of these low cap altcoins that we can put a little bit of money in and get a whole lot of money out. And we also went over market cycles and how market cycles are important for identifying the key opportunities to get inside these cryptocurrencies. We're going to wrap this up, and I'll see you in the next video. And don't forget, we'll talk much more about identifying altcoins, because that's a really deep subject. We'll talk much more about that inside the community. So I'll see you on the inside.